Book 23, The Labyrinth, Savick and Sherlock. Now the FBI Brit series is over. We finished last second the other day. So this is book 23. We only have Deadlock, Vortex, Reckoning, and the final book for maybe ever, Flashpoint. So we'll see what happens there. But Catherine Coulter said she wants to go back and do Regencies. So that's what she's doing. She's doing other projects. So, the list, this is so complicated. All right. Could you please hit the like and subscribe? Could you please hit the like? Please. Other channels talk about it incessantly. Sometimes I forget to mention it at all. All right, look. Come on, camera. Thanks a lot, camera. Here you go. These are the list of characters in this book. All these people, these relevant people in this book, those are all the characters. So that's the first thing you have to deal with. Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? Do you want to come up? Are you coming up? Yes or no? There are 2 stories in this book. And, it's are you coming here? Would you stop then? Just stop. She's gonna keep coming over here. So, you have 2 stories, and they're not connected, but everybody works both cases. Sherlock and Savick work both cases here. And I've got a headache. Oh, I'm gonna need some Tylenol after this. Oh, good God. So where was I? Oh, yes. Okay, so Labyrinth. We start off the book. Sherlock is in a car accident. And it's not necessarily an accident. It may have been on purpose. It may not have been on purpose. This person, Justice Cummings, is running for his life. He is fearful someone is out to get him. He has a right to feel that way. It's absolutely true. And Sherlock gets in the accident, and he hits the windshield, and then he continues running away. He doesn't stay around. He continues running. And Sherlock and her accident, she ends up in the hospital. The biggest thing here is her amnesia. It lasts just about the entire book. But she does proceed and help with the case. Several chapters. And then what bugs me is that so all this stuff with Sherlock happens in the beginning of the book, the first couple chapters. And then Griffin Hammersmith, we've met him a couple times. And he's been in a few of the other books. We've gotten to know him. He's an agent out there in California, I believe. And he was on vacation in Maryland, I believe. Northern Virginia, Maryland. And he was visiting some ladies he got to know of in a diner. And anyway, he's just had this huge meal. And he's going for a walk. He finds this young lady, Dr. Carson. She's been kidnapped. This gentleman is holding her hostage. Griffin has a struggle with Rafe and wins and frees Carson and holds Rafe hostage. Calls 911. He's in a southern town where everybody is related to everybody, and the entire world is against him. Who are you to accuse Rafe, our dearly beloved son, of doing anything wrong? How could you? He's just innocent little boy. Shame on you. You know what? I'm gonna put you and that lady in prison for your accusations, for your fighting with him. You injured him. You held him at gunpoint. Those credentials you show me, they're false. They're fake. I'm putting you in jail. He is luckily at one point calls Savick and alerts Savick. And the sheriff locks him up. They're in a small town, and the sheriff and his family control the town. They own most of the businesses. You do what they say, or you leave, or it. They are the boss. They are the rulers of this town. So they lock Griffin and Carson in a jail cell. You are the guilty ones here. You're impersonating a federal officer. You did this to Rafe, my son, my nephew. You did this to him. You are lying. In the meantime, people go and clean up the crime scene, make it spotless so it shows nothing. So my good old boy Rafe here, he's got a broken wrist, so I'm gonna arrest you for assault on my nephew here. He is just an innocent little boy. He was just, he didn't do nothing. And it just, And you spend chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter in this small town with all their, we didn't do nothing wrong. We are the Bodines. And, he's just good old boy Rafe. He didn't do nothing wrong. It's you people. And Savick calls in the cavalry. A whole team of FBI agents storm the sheriff's office, take control, free Griff, the whole 9 yards. And then they spend chapter in this small town investigating. Supposedly 3 girls are missing. 1 or 2 may be dead. And they believe Rafe is a serial killer. And they're like, oh, poor Rafe. He didn't do nothing wrong. He's innocent. Besides, you can't prove nothing. We clean the crime scene. It is spotless. There is nothing there for you to find. None of the duct tape or the pipe or any of that evidence is all wiped away clean. You don't have a case, you big fancy FBI agents. Chapters later. Okay, chapter 39. At that point in juncture, you get back to the first case. Let me just check my little notes here. So, we have 3. We have Sherlock and Amnesia, which, after the first couple of chapters, it's kind of brushed aside a little bit. Then we have Special Agent Griffin Hammersmith and his small town stuff. Then we have BEXHOLT. And whatever they're doing. And there are certain people are worried. So, it's Nixie Bexholt, and her undercover name is Athena. And we have Jasmine Palumbo, we have Cricket Washburn, we have Dr. Craig Cook, and Ellie Corbett also works for Jasmine, and then Claire Farringer. And so that's that group there. And we have several chapters of them talking and discussing whatever it is they're doing, and how Cummings was their scapegoat. They had set him up to be the fall guy of the stuff, whatever the stuff they're doing. Because you don't know what this stuff they're doing. And it's annoying as all hell. It's just annoying as all hell. So you don't know. So it isn't until chapter 39, and then you really still don't know. Because they're still, woe is me. What if they find out? This has gotta work. Woe is me. And you're like, what the F? My quote for the early parts of the book is Peyton Place. That's what I wrote. That's the highlighted section there. It feels like Peyton Place. So, we have all the small town stuff. And like I said, chapter 39. This is what I wrote in chapter 39. That's what I said. Not a clue what's going on with Cummins. Not a clue. And like I said, all the different characters involved in this case do the woe is me. And then we go back to the small town and we talk about the 3 girls and we investigate the 3 missing girls. And then we have Cynthia Bodine seems to be the ringleader of the Bodines. And she does a lot of the talking for the family, and she's the head of the family, and she's Rafer's mom, and she teams to control stuff. And it's about this point you're getting a little clue, a couple little clues what's going on, but you're still not really told. Chapter 52. Apparently, Ruth Warnecki. Now, most of the agents are really not introduced because after so many books, you're just supposed to know them or just accept them. They're just characters. Some authors I know will give 2 or 3 lines. So and so from here did this or was doing. You really don't get that here. But you would have to know that Ruth Warnecki is our maestro. She lives in Maestro with the sheriff and his 2 boys and the dog. I forget the dog's name. But they always talk about Ruth and her snitches. She has some good snitches through the series. And so apparently we're in chapter 52. Ruth gets a call from Dougie, one of her snitches. And apparently Duggar and Hammer, they're former military homeless guys. And he goes, we got this guy. You might want to come check him out. So they go to check him out. And it's Justice Cummings. And he answers their questions. And he fills... His memory's a little shoddy. They've got him on lots of alcohol to help with his pain. The boys did what they could with aspirin and Tylenol, over-the-counter stuff from his accident. But, so he talks about how he was set up to meet Chris. He met a pretty lady in the parking lot or the cafeteria at work, and they were going to meet at this restaurant, and it turns out that she gave him a false name. She told him she was Christy Blake, but her real name was Eleanor Christine Corbett, and apparently she works for that Bexholt company or the other company. It's very, very complicated, this huge chunk of stuff. And apparently, Cummings was working on some FBI, Russian stuff. He was a Russian analyst. He was analyzing Russian data. And apparently, he caught or saw, but didn't think much of it, his boss doing stuff with his computer. She was setting him up for a fall. Apparently, they've got a big contract that they want to get approved for that'll make them billionaires or whatever. They've got this government, or maybe not government, maybe private company. They've got a contract. It's just a contract. And it's worth a lot, and it's really, really important to her and to her small group. And she's got this small group of people working with her. So she's got the official company here, and then she's got the small company, the group of people from the company, sub-company, maybe some CA. I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot of people. Like I said, that whole group was working together. And it was two sides, but they were working, they had different stuff. And it's very, very, there's so much details. So he talks to them. It takes several chapters, but he talks to them, and they tell her that Christy Blake was murdered, and she was murdered because of him. And he tells about their meeting and all the kind of stuff, and what his boss did to his computer. And then we have a couple more chapters of woe is me and what's going on with them. And then page 382, I just had to copy it. Savick and Sherlock are having this talk. And I just thought I'd mention it because it's the title of the book. Too many pieces to this puzzle. Too many possible turns. It's like a maze. We haven't found the key to it yet. More labyrinth, I think. With Nixie Bexel waiting at the center, a modern-day minotaur. Did you notice the bust of Athena on her desk, the goddess of war and wisdom? I wish I'd thought to ask her about it. Okay. So, then you go back to the small town case. Oh, and what was the name of those bad guys a couple of books ago? Oh, I can't remember. Oh, the one that did the stymie and the controlling of people. He ended up in a couple, 2 or 3 books. Oh, shit, I don't remember the bad guy's name. But apparently, the Bodines had a personal tragedy. And they had this sick idea of how to fix it. And they were kidnapping these girls and using drugs and other methods to manipulate them to test their powers, their skills, their possible witchcraft, their possible mental acuity. You know, like Savick has that special ability. And apparently Griffin Hammersmith has it too. It happened between him and his sister way back when. God, that was a long time ago. Point Blank or Blowout. It was a long time ago. One of those books back there. The sister and the husband out in the West Coast with the small town. And I forget now, but it was the small town. The husband was drugging his wife to get her to do stuff. It was just, and then the whole town comes. Yeah, the house. They had the shootout at the house on the cliff. I remember all that stuff. But anyway, So apparently one of the Bodines has that kind of power to control people a little bit. And it's just, it gets complicated there too. So you have it's completely, both cases, it's almost 480 plus pages. There are 2 epilogues. There was 1 epilogue for each case to clean it up, to explain the whole story. But so those are your 2 cases. Your small town kidnapping case with my boy Rafe here, who didn't do nothing wrong. Just because he kidnapped the girl, and he had her bounded with tape, and Griffin rescued her and called it 911 for help. Only 911 was crooked, and everyone was connected. My poor Rafe, he didn't do nothing. You guys are lying, and I'm gonna lock you up in jail because it's you that's wrong, and you are gonna, you know. But anyways, so that was Labyrinth. All 400 plus pages of it, or 300 and... No, right. I gotta put my glasses on. Yep, over 490 pages. That thing is fixed. So, and I had 12 pages of notes. Lots of notes here. But, here are your characters. They're all almost in order of appearance, not quite though. I started to try and group them together. Ruth Noble, or AKA Ruth Warnecki as I know her. Metro Detective Ben Raven. Jimmy Matlin, Savica's boss. Shirley Needham is her secretary. Nixie Bexholt, aka Athena. Jasmine Palumbo, she's the leader of the team of Bexholt. Cricket Washburn, Dr. Craig Cook, also at Bexholm. Ellie Corbett works for Jasmine. Claire Ferringer, and Carson DeSalva is our prisoner that Griffin rescues. Bettina Sack comes in and saves the day. Amy, Rose, Wahlberg, and Jenny are our restaurant owners that feed everybody. And then we have Sheriff Bodine, Rafer Bodine, our innocent nephew that doesn't do nothing wrong. Carson DeSilva, our victim. Faylene Hurdle, our crooked dispatcher. Agent David Fox, Agent Deandra Watkins, and then we have our missing girls, Amy Radford, Heather Forrester, Letitia Morris, and then Cooper Bodine and his brother Rayford Bodine, Quint Bodine, sister Cynthia Silva and Jesseline Silva, and Camellia Bodine, who disappeared a few years ago, and she may or may not be the key to this whole book. So there you go. And we'll have to get on with Deadlock in a couple days. We'll see what happens. But this was a big book. There's Miss Coulter. So what do you think? Hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Thanks.